Hi, this is a short tutorial on signs of a chemical reaction and types of chemical reactions. Okay, so how do we know that a chemical reaction actually happened? So you need to look for signs of a chemical reaction, and that includes light and sound. Okay, so the best example would be fireworks, where you see different colored lights and sound. Okay, change in color. Fizzing. Fizzing is bubbling. And when something fizzes or has bubbles, that means gas is produced. Changed in temperature, that means it can become warmer or colder. Precipitate. Precipitate is a solid form when there is a liquid liquid reaction or gas gas reaction. Odor is also another sign of a chemical reaction. And of course, the ultimate sign of a chemical reaction is that a new product is formed. Okay? That's how you know a chemical reaction happened. For example, if I take a piece of paper and I rip it apart, that is not a chemical reaction. That is just a physical change. Because even if I rip the paper apart, it is still paper. However, if I take those pieces of paper that I ripped apart and I burn it, that is now a chemical change. Because after I burn it, okay, it's not paper anymore. It's like burnt ashes or carbon, okay? So that is what the difference is, okay? So now let's go to types of chemical reactions. There are many types of chemical reactions, but for this video, we are going to focus on four: composition, decomposition, single displacement, and double displacement, okay? So as you can see over here, composition is like making combining two elements to make a compound. Okay, so A and B represent elements. See, it's not mixed, combined with another element. That's why it's just A and B. But after the chemical reaction, it becomes a compound made of element A and element B. Decomposition is the opposite of composition. With this one, we are combining. This one, we are separating. So from AB, it becomes, okay, A, B. Okay, it becomes, this should be there, A plus B. Okay? Now, single displacement reaction is just changing. It's, think of it as stealing somebody's partner. Okay? So if you look over here, A is by itself, and then it reacts with a compound BC. Okay? So what happens? A kicks out B, go away, and partners up with C, leaving B all alone. Okay? So single displacement, or you can also call it single replacement. Okay? Single displacement or single replacement. Let's write it down. Okay? Same goes for this one. Double displacement is you have two compounds, and after the reaction, you still have two compounds, but if you notice, they changed partners. A bonded with C, B bonded with D. Okay? So let's look at it with detail. So, composition reaction. Let's give an example. So we can use one element, magnesium, plus another element, oxygen. Okay, so this is what we did in class, burning the magnesium strip. It's a metal, silver, but after we burned it, it became a white powder. So magnesium, which is an element, plus oxygen, which is another element, gives you magnesium oxide. Okay, so let's go to decomposition. So we start with a compound. Let's start with hydrogen peroxide. Okay. Now hydrogen peroxide, if you just leave it out, it will naturally separate into hydrogen and oxygen. So that is decomposition. What was once a compound now has become single elements. Okay? So now let's look at single displacement. So let's use magnesium again as an example. So the element here is magnesium and the compound would be hydrochloric acid. Okay? So after the chemical reaction, magnesium kicks out hydrogen and partners up with chlorine. So you end up with magnesium chloride plus hydrogen. Okay, now this is a single displacement because only one was replaced. Okay, magnesium paired up with chlorine. Another thing you have to know is that this equation is not balanced. Okay, hydrogen exists as a molecule. Okay, so it bonds with another hydrogen atom to be stable. So we have H2, and we also know that since magnesium is 2 positive and chlorine is 1 negative, magnesium needs to bond with 2 chlorine atoms so that it will have an overall charge of 0. Okay? Now, since there are 2 chlorine and 2 hydrogen atoms, that means magnesium bonded with 2 hydrochloric molecules, hydrochloric acid molecules. Okay? Now, this is a balanced equation. Okay? And lastly, double displacement or double replacement. So as you can see, A partnered with C and B partnered with D. So as an example, we can look at potassium iodide plus lead nitrate. Okay? And the reaction happened. You end up with potassium nitrate plus lead iodide. So you see a double displacement or double replacement.